Thank you, Chairman Goodlatte and Ranking Member Conyers. Thanks for holding this hearing, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your leadership on the balanced budget amendment. You appropriately mentioned that in 1995, great folks today that have worked so hard to try to put forward a movement toward a balanced budget is, their belief and my belief that if we spend more than we bring in over time, the system will collapse. And so we have to act. And the ranking member talked about what might happen with a balanced budget amendment, some draconian cuts. Actually, I believe the true draconian option is to do nothing. A recent CBO report talked about what would happen under the current law with the old age survivors insurance of Social Security. By 2030, it'll be exhausted. In 2031, the cuts will be about 31%. We've never seen cuts like that. Other mandatory programs, Medicare, hospital insurance, will be exhausted by 2028, and you'll see draconian cuts there as well. My dad used to tell me we can do this the easy way or the hard way, and that's the truth here too. We can do this the easy way, which is us deciding to come together. My proposal for a balanced budget amendment is a bipartisan amendment, Mr. Conyers, and it does not require a supermajority to raise taxes. It does not require a supermajority or cap spending. It simply requires us to do things, because I haven't been here a long time. I've been here 6 years, but I've been here long enough to learn that the only things that happen in Congress are the things that have to happen. We need to make balancing our budget something that has to happen. And if we don't, millions of Americans will see draconian cuts as a result. I think the gentleman from Florida very accurately talked about what could happen with interest rates. Interest rates are at an artificial low. Our servicing cost on our debt is tiny now, yet it's already more than we spend in veterans benefits. And if interest rates were to normalize back to normal 4 to 5% rates, we would be spending about 30% of everything we bring in just to service the debt. And that doesn't account for anything else. We have to do something, and we have to do something now. And I would plead to all of you that I believe we have to do it in a bipartisan way. Would I like a limit on how much we could spend as part of our GDP? Yeah, I would like that. I didn't put it in my balanced budget amendment because I know we need to compromise. I know it has to be bipartisan. To get to the numbers we need Republicans and Democrats to come together to do this and control our own fate, because if we don't, our fate will be controlled for us by other people, by our creditors around the world. And we all saw what happened to Greece. We all saw what happened to Portugal. We all know how bad that situation could be. I don't want to let that happen to the citizens of the United States of America and to the people who depend on our government to do the things that it needs to do to help and to defend our country. And, one of the greatest threats, I've been a military guy for 32 years, one of the greatest threats to our national security, as Admiral Mullen said almost 5 years ago, is that our national debt risks our national security. And we all know that in our own lives. When you owe people money, you're at their mercy. And that's why we need to live within our means and start to pay down our national debt. I want to thank my co-sponsor, Henry Cuellar, for our balanced budget amendment, HRES 110. Mr. Conyers, I hope you'll look at it. It doesn't require many of the things that you talked about. I know we as Republicans and Democrats have to come together to solve this problem, and I'm willing to give up on some of the things that I might like in a balanced budget amendment and simply require it. I think the gentleman from Florida explained that 49 states, everybody but Vermont, has a balanced budget requirement in their state constitution. And since 2008, Countries like Germany, Austria, Poland have added a balanced budget amendment to their constitution as countries because the financial crisis demanded that they do it. And I'm not talking about our financial crisis in '08. I'm talking about what happened in Europe in 2007 and 2008. So there is a way forward. It's a bipartisan way forward. I hope we can all work to make that happen because the alternative is grim for millions of Americans. And I hope we don't do this the hard way, but the problem will be solved one way or the other. I hope we take the reins, provide leadership, and lead the country on a better path of a balanced budget. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I appreciate all the very passionate advocates that are here today to talk about the future of our country. Thank you, and I appreciate, yield back the balance of my time.